Yes,
Good
you
morning,
are.
everyone. Can we hear me? If we can hear me, okay. If we can hear me, please send your favorite emoji. You can type, I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to be here at the final Healthcare Business Masterclass edition. Yeah, I love that love sign. Yeah, so welcome everyone, and thank you for joining the call. I understand how busy we are with our various businesses, managing our various people. Good to be here. It's good to have you here too, Blessing. Thank you for joining. Yes, and I'm looking forward to a very exciting edition today because not just because it's the final one in the Healthcare Business Masterclass series, but also because we are tackling a very sensitive, we're addressing a very sensitive issue in healthcare. I know that community pharmacies, hospital pharmacies, even healthcare providers generally in the house will be able to relate to the the business of people because we know that our mission everywhere is to save lives. So whether you are in a hospital or in the pharmacy, the overarching mission is to save lives. And if our people are not, in tune with our goal, there's a problem. So there is a gap. So Lara Yeku today is going to be showing us how to close that gap in healthcare. And this also transcends not just within the different units, the different businesses, but also the healthcare system generally. Yeah. So we are going to be addressing all of that. Before I go on, I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Pharmacist Onye Chekwe, and I am the communications manager for Drugstock. So as some of us on the call know, Drugstock is a tech-enabled pharmaceutical distribution company that ensures easy access to medications, quality medications across Africa. For those of our clients on the call, you can attest to this. And we also provide different tech solutions. So we are empowering healthcare providers generally, not just with medicines and pharmaceuticals, but also with knowledge and impact, things that can help you to make impact in the healthcare system. And that is what Drugstock Learning is about. Drugstock Learning is the impact arm of Drugstock, because we get to share knowledge, we get to learn so much. For those of us that have attended the Healthcare Business Masterclass for 3 months now, we said in April, you can attend learn from Farm Immerse operations to Stanley's finance session to this HR session. I promise you and I assure you that you're going to be in for an amazing time with so much to learn. But before I go on, so I'm not alone on the call, our speaker is here, and I'm going to be introducing her shortly. Yeah, so Madam Lara, you can say hello before I introduce you. Just say hi, everybody, if you can
Hi
hear me.
everyone. Hello.
Okay, great. All right, so I'm going to be reading a citation. It's a very rich one, so be prepared. Yeah, Lara Yeku is a global strategic HR leader, executive coach, mentor, international speaker, design thinking expert and trainer, certified business analysis professional, and author. She is well recognized for her immense innovative contributions to the current trends and practices in the evolution of HR in Nigeria. She has garnered several global experiences across various industries such as manufacturing, consulting, and logistics, with strong functional capabilities across HR value chains. She's adept at business intelligence, which is what we need on this call, HR and business transformation, organizational design, performance management, design thinking, professional coaching, labor relations, learning and development, etc. She's fondly called Coach Lara Yeku, and she has almost 2 decades years of experience in human resources. She started her career at Human Capital Development Center and moved to DHL, Exile Logistics, before she joined Accenture Nigeria in 2008. There, she rose to the position of country HR lead and left after 11 years. Well done, ma. She joined Flour Mills of Nigeria as head of HR Food Division in 2019 and recently got appointed into a new role as the head of HR, Food Commercial, Supply Chain, Industries, Corporate, and Service. She is responsible for driving people and organizational strategic priorities with the leadership team to achieve its revenue targets, which is a lot of money. She was part of the FMN Women Network Executives for 2 years. She has won several awards. So we have an award-winning speaker here, ladies and gentlemen. She has won several awards, including 2019 Talent Management Strategies, 100 Women B2B Thought Leadership, and the second LinkedIn Top 10 Women Thought Leaders to follow in 2020, including the 40 HR leaders in 2022 to follow in Nigeria by People Home. We are glad to have you. We are following you. Top 100 Women in Action Africa, to mention a few. She's been featured in multiple magazines and was recently inducted by the FRSC as a Celebrity Special Marshal. Please, am I supposed to salute you on this call? Because I don't know. She's a member of the International Coaching Federation USA and a strength core with Gallup Strengths Incorporated USA. Recently completed an executive education with Yale School of Management and got certified by the IIBA as Certified Business Analysis Professional in January 2023. She's married and blessed with 3 children. Thank you so much, Ma, for agreeing to do this. Thank you for your time. And we are looking forward to a very enriching session. And we are going to go straight into it now. I'm going to remember to salute you after this call because, you know, as a special marshal, you can even tell us what that entails. All right, great.
Yeah.
We are going to go straight into it. And
thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, so please let me know if you're able to project and share your slides. If not, let's find a solution.
Yes, please, can you help share from your end? Yes, because I don't know what's going on. It's
still not able to. Okay.
For some reason. Well, whilst you are getting to that, let me just start first and foremost by saying, good morning, amazing people. Thank you so much for this opportunity. I do not take it for granted in any way. I would like to especially appreciate Dropstock for all that you're doing. Right now, this isn't just all about making money, because at the end of the day, the goal is to make money. But the fact that you're making impact and you're transforming life, that really transcends the purpose of businesses. And I see that here with what Dropstock is doing. So I really want to appreciate Dropstock for this amazing initiative, not just to save life, but also to transform lives. Thank you and well done. Thank you so much. Well done, Onye, Peter, and management of Dropstock. Thank you. All right, so today I would also like to share a bit about the business of people, but I would like to also welcome everyone on the call, everyone in the healthcare industry, everyone who daily you're committed to saving a life. Daily you're committed to impacting a life. Daily, you're committed to living a legacy through what in the healthcare space. The health nation, and that's the honest truth. If we don't have quality drugs, if we don't have quality healthcare system, no matter what, that nation would not thrive. So you are the core of making nations thrive. So well done for all you do. You are all amazing people. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, so getting to today's conversation, the business of people. And I love the topic. When Onye reached out to me and mentioned, oh, should them to come and talk to people? I'm like, yes, why not? Because whether we like it or not, the business of people is really important. It's at the core of every organization. But when she sent me the topic, I fell so much in love with the topic because is germane to the world that we're in. Aristotle states in one of his quotes, the illiterate of the future are those that cannot unlearn, relearn, right? So learning is really important. And in the place of learning is where shifting comes in, which is why I love that topic so much. There's a need for us to shift if we want to progress. There's a need for us to shift if we want to make any form of lasting impact. And that's where that topic speaks to shifting really is important. I'm excited to be here to share with everyone today. Brief introduction about myself. You already mentioned, and when she spoke about the being an FRSA, so FRSA are the Federal Safety Road Corp. Those are the people who are on the road, and the reason they're there is to manage traffic and minimize road traffic accidents. I got inducted last year. When I heard the story of a lady, she's an FRSC, and I was really inspired by her story. I think about 19 years ago, her father traveled to Ibadan for a wedding. And on his way back from Ibadan, he had an accident on Lagos-Ibadan Express Road and died. And this lady, she was in secondary school then. Because of what happened to her dad, she said she was going to become a member of FRSC on the road, directing traffic, to educating people on traffic road accidents to minimize deaths, as that was how her father died. So I got inspired by her story. And ever since then, I've been part of the team where we go to bus stops, we go to motor parks to educate drivers on right and safe road practices, like don't drink and drive. And so that's all I've been doing. And that's part of how I also give back to humanity. So thank you so much, Onye, for that. All right, so let's jump straight to the conversation of today. And let me start by saying healthcare for me is not just about systems and science, pharmacology. I read biochemistry, so I'm very conversant as well to clinical biochemistry that speaks about pharmacology. In fact, pharmacology was one of the best courses that I read and I enjoyed while I was in university. So it's not just about that, but it's about people, right? It's about how we drive excellence in healthcare. And for us to drive excellence in healthcare, we must lead and manage our people right. So that for me is really, really important, how we drive excellence in healthcare. And that is what has taken me to our learning outline today. Okay, we are going to be learning across 4 pillars. The first is, what's the role of people management as HR? How has that role changed? How has the shift? We're talking about shift. How has the shift also happened? Then we'll also talk about objective. Why do we own businesses, right? And what is the objective of our businesses? What's the outcome that businesses want? And then overall, how do we link what the business wants and what HR actually does? Then we'll open it up for questions and answer. Okay. So that would be our 4 learning outline for today's session. But I like us to interact a bit. Please put in what are your expectations when you saw the topic? What are you seeking to learn today? What are you seeking to gain more insight about? So please go to the chat box, your thoughts. I don't know if participants have opportunity to unmute and speak, but if 1 or 2 people can speak, it would be good. Otherwise, please go to the chat box and just drop your messages. Let's read from you. What are your expectations from this session? It's just going to be for 45 minutes thereabout. The topic is very important. We're talking about people management in the health practice sector. What are you seeking to learn? We're talking about shifting. What does that shifting really mean for you? right? From how you hire people, the kind of people you hire, to how you manage, to how you work with the healthcare sector, to how you learn, how you develop them through your learning initiatives, to how they grow. So what really are your expectations from today's session? I'd like to read one or two just to make this session really interactive, because when we talk about people, they are the core, they are the center of our organization, of our business. So imagine drugstore have all their network and chains of pharmaceutical medicine. Those are initiatives. That's a brilliant vision. Drugstore need people to execute it. They need people. They need people like Onye with our expertise, right, in mass communication to come on board. They need people to move drugs. So it's really important that we get the expectations right. So are there anyone who has shared a thought on the chat box, or if you want to unmute, I believe you can be given the opportunity to unmute so we can make this interactive. One or two thoughts. What are your expectations from this session? What are you seeking to learn? Perhaps there's even an area that you are also seeking to gain more insight. Okay, thank you so much, Victoria. Victoria Ogochukwu, I want to get insight on how to work with my people and improve on output and profit maximization. That is amazing. Thank you so much, Victoria. Because really, if you want to increase the results that you get, then you also need to increase or improve the input that leads to the result that you get. Input in this instance is your people management. How do you ensure they are productive? How do you ensure they are doing the right thing and the like? So let's get it coming. Yes. Thank you, Victoria. Any other thoughts? Okay, thank you. So while that is going on, there's a poll on the screen. Please click on the poll. Click on the poll question very quickly. All right. Thank you so much, Mubarak. I want to learn from HR perspective on how staff that work for businesses. Okay, your input, I want to know the best way to bring out the best in my people. So, thank you. Thank you for those expectations. As we move to the next slide, I do believe that at the end of the session, you would have gained knowledge and insights that meet, probably exceed your expectation. Thank you, Alima, as well. I'd like to gain insight on how to manage difficult individuals in your team, in a game bag, in a team. Thank you. Thank you. I want to learn how to manage people and organize. Fantastic. Awesome. So, haven't stated your expectations. Our learning objective really is, I'm going to be sharing with you on how to shift from traditional HR. I mean, I'm happy that we are approaching this with open minds. I would like to learn. I want to learn. I expect to gain insight. That comes with an open mind. And that openness is really important because the world has evolved, especially now in the workplace. Guess how many generations we have in the workplace? Guess. Can anyone guess how many generations we have in the workplace now? Hey, as you are guessing, let me tell you my own story. So earlier this year, around March, April, my daughter had to do internship. And guess what? Lo and behold, I and my daughter were going to the same workplace. So, hey, same work organization. She was in quality. She was in quality department because I'm in HR. 4 generations, Mubarak. Thank you. And that's so true. And in my organization, we operate a first name basis. So you come to the office, you call Lara, you call Femi, you call Peter, you call. And then in my company, my daughter and I came. He said, I want to see my mommy. Who's your mom? She dare not even call her mom by the first name, even though we're in the same organization. So thank you, Mobara. And why we have 4 generations in the workplace. In my organization, we have 4, right? So you can imagine from baby boomers to millennials to Gen X to Gen Zs, right? And now we have alphas that are coming. So that's true. Because we have 4 generations in the workplace, there's a dimension to how we manage people in the workplace, and that's the honest truth. Because each generation has their own way of life, they have their own character, they have their own behavior. So with that, we now need to move away from the traditional way of managing people now to a more growth-driven way of managing people. Because at the end of the day, we all want growth in our organizations. The baby boomers come with their own wisdom. That's the honest truth. No matter how dynamic and how young or how fast-paced or how creative or how innovative the younger generations are in the workplace. The older generation too comes with wisdom. They have their wisdom, they have their institutional knowledge, right? They have their experience that you cannot throw away. However, how do we infuse all of this to ensure that the organization grow and there's no clash in the workplace? So for instance, if you are a baby boomer in the workplace and you're working with very young people, there's a tendency that you look at them differently and you're wondering what's wrong with this person. This wasn't how we were when we were growing in our career. Do I have a witness in the house? When you see younger people in the workplace, they're wondering, this wasn't how we were when we started in our career. It's entirely different. So how do we manage those people now in the workplace? We'll talk about that. And beyond that, how do we create those connections? As you're managing people, how do you ensure the people you're managing drives the strategy of your organization? So for instance, if your pharmaceutical company is to increase your chains of stores or outlets, how do you train people to ensure that if they go to your store in Lagos, is entirely the same thing, the same experience if they go to your store in Aba, or if they go to your store in Enugu, or they go to your store in Port Harcourt, or they go to your store in Kaduna? How do you ensure that distinctive experience across all your stores? That's connecting your people strategy and practices to what you want to achieve in your organization. I'm going to look at that, and more importantly, what are the tools you can use? So a lot of us, we hire people in our healthcare organization, but do they have job description? So recently I was training in my church, and someone reached out to me and said he was opening a pharmaceutical store in a particular location and he needed help. And I was really happy because for him, it's not just about hiring a pharmacy technician. It's not just about hiring a pharmacist. I said to him, you need to have a detailed job description. You need to have detailed way to assess them. So what's your performance management process you are putting in place to ascertain skills and attributes? So I went to a particular pharmacy somewhere along Allen, and then I got in there. In fact, I met the pharmacist. She was eating. There was oil over everywhere. She was at the counter. Everywhere was smelling. The old drugstore was smelling of fried fish or something, right? And it was just messy. I got pulled off because when I got in, the smell was, I just had to, because I didn't even like the smell. Sent away a customer. So how do we ensure that we put the right processes, practices in place for our staff? And of course, how do we now implement this across board? So those will be the 4 key learning objectives. But as I'm talking through it, I believe we are going to be picking 1 or 2 things. Now, the honest truth is the evolution of work is happening. As we are shifting, everything is shifting. Demography is shifting. Also, the evolution of work is shifting. We have younger people now who want more flexibility in the workplace. So if you have a pharmacy store, how do you retain younger people that their body, they stay one place? They are everywhere. They're super active. How do you keep them engaged? So how do you look at your shift patterns if you manage a pharmaceutical store, maybe in an hospital where they run shifts, or close to an hospital where they run shift system? How do you ensure you have the right shift work structure in place, right? So what are the tools and devices and the likes that you use? But the honest truth is we need to keep an open mind that the preferences of people and work is evolving. In the age of digitalization, how do you use digital to drive your business? How do you use social media platform? In the age where we have apps, people can go on certain apps and then order medication. How do you leverage the skills and attributes of your people to drive your business? I think for me, it starts with understanding the skills and strengths of your people that you have, and how do you leverage that in the world of work that we are in. So I remember the story of someone that I heard. Apparently, he runs a pharmaceutical store. Him an animation of how he has used AI animation to design an advert for his store. The man got very curious and excited people, and let's understand work is evolving, and let's tap into the opportunity that comes with that. Next slide very quickly. I hope you're getting sincere apologies, we're in Nigeria. Please confirm you can hear me. All right.
I can hear you.
Thank you so much. Okay. I hope you are getting something. I'd like to see your reaction. I'd like to see your reaction in the chat room if you're getting something, following through. Thank you. Awesome. Just keep the reaction going. Thank you. Okay. Yes. All right. So as we make the shift, it's very important to thank you. So it's very important to understand what is shifting. It's no longer about just managing people or hire, performance, fire. It's no longer about that. But how do you manage people proactively? And that's where growth-driven HR comes into play. How do you manage people proactively using data? How do you manage people proactively ensuring that what they do connects to what will grow your business? So how do you create value through people? And when we talk about HR in the new world of work we're in, it's no longer just administrative. It's no longer just admin or just being reactive. It's one, ensuring that you have HR that understands the strategy of the business. Onye in her role understands what the business wants to achieve. And she uses her specialty as a media and communication expert to achieve that. And that's really what should happen when it comes to HR. When you are bringing on board an HR professional, it's not just to come and keep your business administration in order. No, it's first starting with what's this business strategy? What does your business want to achieve? Of value that you operate in the healthcare and the pharmaceutical, you want to grow. How do you ensure that the people you bring, HR, understands what you want to achieve? So take, for instance, if your strategy is to expand your chains of outlets, how does HR support you in making that to happen? If your strategy, right, is to win a particular bid or a contract, how does HR ensure that happens? So one is understanding the strategy of the business. So HR needs to align to that. So HR needs to be proactive and predictive of what business needs in terms of people. So for instance, if you need to have, maybe you need to run shifts. Let's say you need to run shifts. HR needs to proactively understand what work structure would be most appropriate for that. So an HR also needs to look at what is best for your business. So for instance, if you need to run shifts, and HR needs to know that for you to run shifts, you need to look at hiring a male at some point, because the female might be a bit challenged in running. So those are the things that HR needs to consider. HR needs to ensure that whatever activities they are carrying out training, in fact, HR needs to ensure that the training plan goes line by line with what the business would need at that point, okay? In the healthcare sector, there are certifications, there are trainings. Is HR tracking that to ensure that your people are taking the right knowledge to ensure that they continue to develop their skills and knowledge to be able to perform their job better? So that's really, really important, especially in the healthcare sector that is highly specialized. For your pharmacist technicians, do they have the right qualification? Do they have the right exposure? They have right experience. So all of those things, all the right experience, HR needs to ensure that whatever they do supports the organization at the end of the day, no matter how small your business is. Please, some of us that run pharmaceutical outlets, we might just think, oh, I manage just one pharmaceutical outlet. No, every business wants to grow. So you must bring in somebody that understands the growth plan, the growth direction of your business. Otherwise, they will not have the right capacity to support you in your business growth. I will repeat that. Wherever you bring in, must understand the growth strategy of your business, other capacity to support you in that growth journey. So the role of HR is evolving. That shift is evolving from traditional HR to growth-driven. Activities must focus on growth. What are we trying to achieve? What is the growth? What do we need to start doing? How do we manage people? How do we ensure our people have the right behavior to ensure that they are on this growth journey with us? How do we ensure our people have the right skills? Okay. So having said that is really, really, next slide, please. Okay. I guess the slide is frozen. Onya, are you there?
Yes, I am. Can you hear me? Oops.
Oh. You still hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, but I'm changing the slides. Can you see the slides change?
So not yet. So while I wait for the slide to change, Not yet on my screen. So the role of HR continues to evolve. Our role is a lot more important because it's about people. The people are the ones, yes, change, and the people are the ones that execute your business plan. Okay, so because of our time, let's move straight to the next slide. Should HR be linked to the business objectives? Should HR be linked to the business objectives? I like to share a bit on this. So HR do not work in isolation. Yes, please move to the next slide. Should HR be linked to the business objectives? So as that is coming up,
okay, that's it.
Okay, awesome. All right, thank you so much, everyone. So as we can see this rope.
Can you see?
Yes, I can. I can see it. Okay. Please confirm you can hear me whilst the slide comes on. So when we saw that rope, the green and the red rope, really, HR is interwoven with the businesses. There's no business without people. There's no people without business. Can I say that again? There's no business without people. And there's no people without business. There is no business without people, and there's no people without business. So as long as you're in a business, people remains the business. And for that to happen, both needs to work in alignment. Your people needs, your business needs must work in alignment. Otherwise, you cannot be running a business and not pay attention to the people. Neither can you have people and not pay attention to the business parts. So very important. Like I already mentioned how the role of HR has evolved over the years. If you have HR people, if you have people in your organization, you need HR. Okay, I'd like to ask, do you have, how many people do you have employed working with you? Put in the chat box. How many people you have working with you in your organization? Let's please put in the chat box. I want to get to have a sense of the size of people that we all manage. Please put in the chat box. How many people do you have working with you in your organization, in your pharmacy store, at your clinic, or wherever you are? How many people do you have working with you? Please put in the chat box just to get a sense of 59277. Wow, that's a large number. Awesome. 558. Good. Okay. All right. So we have to, yeah. Okay, thanks. So I think the lowest that I can see so far is 5. Okay, good. And the highest so far is 277. Okay. The honest truth is, even if you have 1 staff or you have 1,000 staff, the principle to manage people is the same. If you manage that 1 staff right, you will retain them. If you manage 1,000, you will still retain them. Thank you. So you need to be able to manage your staff appropriately. So first and foremost, how do you manage staff? If you don't have an HR professional, please get an HR professional. Very important. 2, okay. If you don't have an HR professional, get an HR professional. if you cannot get an HR professional, being a boss, being a line manager, being a supervisor goes beyond giving instructions. Do this, goes beyond instructions, please. We need to shift into growth-driven. For us to be growth-driven leaders, growth-driven people managers, it starts from how we manage our people. When you're hiring people, please hire right. Be clear, everybody that is working must have a detailed job description. What does that mean? Please, if I buy a medication, don't we have that slip? Oh, yeah, help me here. That's instruction. What is the purpose of the instruction? Anyone? If we buy a drug or a medication, there's always a thin paper, a small paper in that medication. What is the purpose of it? That paper that has contraindications, information about the drugs. What is the purpose of that paper that is always embedded inside a drug pack? Anyone wants to share? Thank you. Thank you so much, Victoria. It's to use the med. Thank you. It has composition of the. So if we give guides into packs of drugs, do you have somebody working on a job without a job description? Why? So it's just, why would somebody be working and there's no job description? Why? So that job description is a guide. It's just like, this is the job we have come to do. This is the package. This is the guide to that job. So please, everyone today, go and get a job description for everybody working with you. No, even a cleaner. What does a job description do? It guides them. One, it explains the reason for the job. So if you're a front desk or you're a pharmacy technician, the reason for your job should be in a job description. That's one. The things you should do on your job should be on that job description. That's two. The skills you do should be on your job description. Your KPI, how you are going to be assessing, I've done well, I've not done well, should be on that job description. Thank you, Imeji. Thank you, David. Thank you, Ibukunoluwa. Guide for oil pamphlets that everybody should have. Very important. And this is one of the shifts. If you want to be a growth-driven business leader, you need to make this shift. So we need to empower ourselves to lead people differently. We need to speak the language of the business. We need to have consulting mindset. So the language of the business is not that you have somebody working with you. They must understand what is required. Your inventory, how you manage your inventory, how you manage your stock counting, how you manage your stock taking, everything should be properly documented. That is your leaflet. That is the guide for every job. I hope I have a witness that going forward, we are going to document and get job descriptions. I have a comment. Please indicate yes in the chat room very quickly. That's a way to grow driven HR practice in your business. That leaflet is job description that you should give every members of your staff. Next slide very quickly. And that's how HR is evolving to become more growth. So it's not just coming to say, I have hired someone. I have hired someone. No, strategically is job description for that person. So very quickly, we'll be wrapping up shortly with a story. And I just want to use the story to encapsulate how HR role continues to shift to become more growth driven. Okay, So this is the story of Mr. Eke, who is a pharmacist and is founded. There's no business here with the name Farm Plus. Disclaimer, this is not about your business. It's just to share a story to everyone. So he ran a successful pharmacy in Abuja, and then people love the personal care, the prompt service, and the knowledgeable staff that he has. So after 5 years of steady growth, Mr. Eke decided to expand and replicate the model across Nigeria, starting with 3 new outlets in Lagos, Port Harcourt, and Ibadan. So Mr. Eke's business has grown, and that's the joy of every business, to grow and multiply. And then he wants to establish in other locations. So his vision is very clear. He wants to be accessible. He wants community-driven healthcare through affordable pharmaceutical services, right? He wants secured funding. He got an investor into his business, and then invested in inventory and branding. And then he hired store managers and pharmaceuticals for each of the outlets. Next slide. Okay. All right. So Mr. Eke got funding, expanded, and then guess what? His intentions are right. He wants to expand his business. But guess what? 6 months into the plan he has set up, he was not seeing profits. Rather, what was he seeing? He was having high staff turnover. Store managers left within the first 90 days that his new branch. The services, can you imagine? The services was inconsistent, right? The team, the Ibadan team, even the team that he got within one location did not feel connected at all. His vision was community-driven pharmaceutical services, but the team members' vision was different. For theirs, maybe it was, let's make money and get out of here, right? Let's leverage on people's sickness. You know, when a man is sick, he will pay anything just to be well. Let's leverage that and let's siphon money from people. Those were the team behavior, because they didn't align with what the company wanted to achieve. Okay. And I haven't said that. There was no HR structure at all. You just hire people, put them behind the counter. Oh yeah, start selling. You have experience now. Oh yeah, come and start prescribing medication to people when they come. There was no HR structure. There was no training. There was nothing for 6 months. So what do you think will happen to that organization? It will not grow. Next slide, please. It will not grow. Next slide.
Okay.
So I've seen it. So at the end of 1 year, having stumbled through all the challenges, there were some learnings. People issue were not clearly defined. So what happened? Mr. Eze had to make correction. And what was the correction he made? Number one, he got an HR manager. I already mentioned you need an HR person. Number two, he got a clearly defined onboarding process. When people join your organization, please don't just put them to work. Say, this is your role, your experience. No, onboard them. What does onboarding mean? Onboarding means you will explain the vision of the company to them, the purpose, what you're trying to achieve, and their role, and how their role fits and links to what you want to achieve. People encourage our people to take trainings. Sometimes when they, for those of us that run pharmaceutical outlets, sometimes customer, your staff, they are online watching Nollywood, Netflix. Encourage them to take trainings online on their phones while they are there. Okay, so it's as you do that, it's very important that whatever you do aligns with the outcome that you want. Please create the right culture. Have a culture of respect. Have a culture leader and encourage your people. Have a culture of performance. Monitor people's performance. Sit down and have a performance review with them on a monthly basis, bi-monthly, every quarter, please from them. So the fact that you're the boss, you're the manager, doesn't mean you cannot get feedback. Get feedback, get thoughts, understand what they like to do and how they can use what they like to do or their skill to drive your business. So it's very important that we learn from this story and we learn from the lessons of Mr. K. Next slide as I round up very quickly. Okay, so going forward, please know that you to have a growth-driven people practices, very, very important. Very important that you are clear what your company wants to achieve. You know why your company exists in the healthcare sector. You know your why. Know your why. This is about knowing your why. Next slide. Once you know your why, you need to understand that your people practices must link that why you exist. Your people business outcome. Your business outcome has to be measurable. It has to be smart. When your business is smart and measurable, right, then you ensure that your people aligns to that. So okay, right. So like I said, ensure that your people practices links to your organizational vision. Your organizational vision and strategy must link you. Overall, your people practices like a bicycle. We have a bicycle rolling, So if the bicycle rolling is the people roll. When the wheel of the bicycle is not rolling properly, your business will not achieve its goal. So that wheel is the people, ensuring that the people know their job well, ensuring they have been trained, ensuring that your people have the right skills, the right exposure, ensuring that they have the right documented job descriptions, ensuring that they have the right mindset, ensuring you have the right culture, ensuring that your performance is adequately documented and you follow through their performance. And that way, it leads you to ensuring that your HR and people practices moves to growth-driven people practices. So on that note, I'd like to appreciate stock learning for this opportunity. I'll take at this point. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you. So Onyinye, over to you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. So are there any questions in the house? Thank you for having me.
Can you
I
hear
have a couple
me?
of questions. There's a question here. Yes, there's a question from Busayo Ajimoko. So Busayo, question is how to ensure I have staff that are happy and give their best. Great question. Busayo, in response to Busayo's question, how do you ensure your staff are happy and they give their best?
All right, if you can hear me, please do a reaction so that I can know that I am still audible and visible. Okay, so I'll take it. Okay. All right, reactions everywhere. Thank you. All right, it has been such a
Busayo,
great
I was going to
session.
respond to your
And
question, Busayo.
all right, are you back? Rhetorical question. All right, I can see that you're back. Okay, great. Lara, please, you have the floor. If you can hear me.
I
Okay.
why are you asking?
This is what I like to ask. All right. That was so insightful and very important because I know that for most of us on the call, like using tapping from my own experience as a past community pharmacist, I mean, I don't remember any HR being with us in the in the pharmacy. You know, the superintendent pharmacist or the pharmacy on duty is usually the pharmacy manager and the HR. You know, we are doing this with the pharmacy owner to HR, everybody else. So it's usually very interesting. And even in small businesses, away from healthcare facilities, even small business, not all small businesses have human resource managers or human resource personnel. And as the years go on, we begin to see how very crucial it is to have someone that specializes in people on the team. And I thank Clara for pointing all of that out and showing us how, you know, in the meantime, while we get our HR person on board, we can step into those shoes, wear the hat, and rock the hat. Like I heard somewhere. All right, so Lara, if you're back, I can just hand the mic over to you so that you can answer the
Marco.
question that was asked. Welcome back.
Yeah, so I heard you. I heard what you said, the entirety of what you said, that a lot of pharmaceutical organizations don't have HR. It's just the managers on site that sort of sometimes double. And which is why I said people management practice,
Maybe
either you're HR
things
or not.
have changed.
Yes, things have
Maybe things have
changed.
changed. I left community practice like over 5 years ago, like
Yeah.
6 years ago. So maybe people now have HR.
Maybe, and maybe they don't. So it's also possible they don't. But even if they don't have HR, the people practice is a skill and a knowledge that every business owner should have. Thanks, Victoria. Thanks for confirming you don't. Yes. So it's okay. You might not have, but you have people working. So the practice is very important that we all learn it as leaders, as business owners. So that practice is very, so I'm going to respond to question from Busayo. How to ensure I have staff that are happy and give their best. Now, this is very important. You cannot please your staff, but you can make your staff happy. I'll repeat that. You cannot please them. You can't give them everything they want now. They want salary increase every day. They want a personal car. You can't do that. You can't please them, but you can make them happy. How do you make them happy? How do you make them happy? You make them happy by ensuring you give them what you owe them. What do you owe them? Number one, conducive work environment. When people come to your pharmaceutical store, how clean and conducive is it? Do they have proper chair to sit? Do they have a fan? Do they have AC? So those conducive work environment, you owe them that one. That's one. If you can give lunch, fine. If you can't, they will sort themselves. Give them time to go and eat. If you cannot give lunch, give them lunch time. I say you cannot meet their needs. Give them what would make their work going easy. No complaint. No torenchi. Ba torenchi. For those of us that speak Hausa. So you owe them that, please. And give them respect. Please, I'm begging. Give them respect. When you give people respect, we are all humans. We all have, even a child wants to be respected. So give people their respect. Talk politely. Those are the things. Let people come to work. They are happy. They are not thinking. They are not afraid. Hey, I'm going to work again. No, what will my oga say? My oga will shout again. No, please give them conducive work environment. Connect to them. Show care. Show care to people. How are you? How is your family? Show care. Your child that was sick, how is that child? I mean, those little things that they don't cost us anything, but they go a long way. That's what will make our people to stay with us. And then please don't owe salary, I beg. As much as possible, pay them for the work that they are doing. One staff that you are paying, you don't know what you're doing. You are helping 10 other people. You are helping the wife, the husband, the children, the cousins, the in-laws, the mother in the village, the father in the village. Everybody's connected to that salary. Okay? So thank you, David. If you don't have the resource to hire HR, it's okay, it's fine. Ensure you have the practices in place, documentations, treating people right, okay? Having the right offer letter of employment, ensuring that you put KPIs in place. So to ensure you have the right practices, even if you don't have HR right now. So another question again, if I can take it because of our time, from Benga Obusuyi. How can we get an example of data we can use to monitor KPI? Okay, so your KPI, what is KPI? Your KPI is key performance indicator. For instance, a cleaner, what's a cleaner's KPI? Ensure cleanliness, ensure that you sweep maybe morning, afternoon, evening, 3 times a day. I don't know what works. Ensure, what's the KPI for a store manager? There is no out of stock. I don't want to hear when somebody needs, what's this? Maybe when somebody needs a particular type or particular brand of analgesics, that's where I realize I don't have this brand in stock. So it's very important that you look at the work they do, how you measure the work they do, it should be your KPI. What is that thing that will measure they have done the job well? That's your KPI. Okay? Are there any other questions?
Yes, there's a question here by David. What about a startup pharmacy without the resources to hire HR?
Yes, thanks, David. I said that already. So if you don't have the resources to hire HR, go and learn HR practice. Go and learn people management practice. What does that mean? Learn how to ensure you have the right practice in place. One, do they have offer letter? How do I ensure do they have job description? Do they have documented references? How do I ensure that my people are well taken care of? All those people practices, that's what HR does. They help you manage people. So learn how to manage people by yourself. That's just what it means. And it's teachable. It's is easy, although it comes with some form of strategy. And that's why we are in such learnings like this. Thank you so much, Drugstock. In such learnings like this, you are bringing people management practices to organizations that don't have HR. So please take learnings like this, and then, because like what you see, absenteeism. How many of us track absenteeism? Your staff that's always giving excuses. In every 2 weeks, they're giving excuses. You allow them. Before you know, by the end of the month, if you track it and put it together, you realize that they've been gone for 9 days, even though it's looking like it's different. They're different days. So you can track absenteeism. You can track performance. You can track costs. Some of us, we pay salaries, right? How are you tracking your salary cost? And how are you comparing that cost to your revenue? Is your salary cost more than your revenue? Is your salary cost a percentage of your revenue? Those are the things you need to track. So if you realize you're paying too much salary cost and you're not earning much, that's an area for you to now think through, how do you manage that part, okay? So please, these are HR people practices that we can take to enable us grow our business from being traditional to growth driven. Everything is, how do we manage people to grow our business? That's growth driven HR business practice. Thank you. I don't know if there's any other question again.
Yeah, so I wanted to share, it's kind of a question and a comment. So from my experience as a pharmacist in both community and hospital settings, I'll start with the community setting. So, and I know that this is, across board, and I'm happy that we have the pharmacy owners on this call. So when I was much younger and, I had colleagues, thankfully, I never really had that type of experience, but I had colleagues working in other pharmacies where they had, in their opinion, unrealistic targets. So usually as the pharmacist at the counter, right, you are superintendent pharmacist or pharmacy manager. So you are supposed to make sure that the sales are, so I think that was a form of KPI. It is a form of KPI. So you have targets, and sometimes these targets are not realistic. Sometimes they are. But how can we manage situations where, the staff feel that the targets are unrealistic? Or maybe the question should be, how can community pharmacy owners or, hospital owners, how can they strike a balance between, certain targets that they know that are realistic and ensuring that the business grows? Do you understand?
Thank you so much. Yes, I do. It's when it comes to target-driven businesses, especially if you've worked in the bank or you hear the targets that they give them in the bank, is ridiculous. So every business exists to make money, and that's the honest truth. And the approach to that is to get a lot of sales. If your business wants to grow, you need to grow revenue. Without revenue, your business cannot grow. And then how do you grow? You grow your revenue through sales and marketing, right? To grow revenues through sales and marketing. So businesses set audacious goals, sales targets to grow their businesses. Now, what I always say to people is identify what's within your control and what is outside your control. The target is an expectation. There are two things. You let that expectation drive you, foil you, or you let it overwhelm you to say, this is not possible. And that's where the mindset comes in. If you look at, even though some targets might seem unrealistic, which is not out of place. I mean, we've heard of organizations that would give you very unrealistic targets, and to make matters worse, they will not even give you support. You're asking yourself, you've given me sales targets and you're not giving me support. There's no support for transportation. There's no support for data. There's no support for phone, telephone. How do you expect? The small salary you're paying me, I will now use the small salary to now even drive the sales. So that's our reality. My point is, Determining what is realistic or not might be out of your control. What you have control over is, one, ensuring that you look at ways, means to achieve that target. Two, how do you look at innovative ways, creative ways, ideas? Who do you partner with? Who do you collaborate with to achieve that target? The thing with target setting is, if you don't meet your targets, there's always a window period for you to grow, right? There might be a 3-month window period, 6-month window period, whatsoever it is. However, I haven't stated that. The honest truth is, sales targets are usually to stretch. That's the honest truth, to stretch. So how do we encourage, how do we continue to motivate our people so that they can go above and beyond? And how do we support them to stretch? But sometimes some people, when you support them, they're able to jumpstart and give you the numbers. For some people, they are just lazy. Their mindset cannot even take it. So it's two ways. It's dicey, but it depends on what is within your control and what you don't have control over. But honest truth is, businesses will continue to set ridiculous targets in most cases. But as business owners today, how do we support our people to achieve those targets? So that they can know that the business is vying in for them to achieve the targets, to push and to stretch themselves. I mean, a lot of times, revenue, salary, bonuses is now tied to those targets to also motivate people to work. I hope that answers your question on here.
Yes, it does. So essentially now, looking at it, because the roles have changed, I'm no more in that setting, but I think, and I'm sure that this is, this is something that that members on the call, the attendees should take note of. It's not just, targets are great because, like Lara said, the business has to grow, but then there should also be support in every sense of it. So that's really important. Thank you. So yeah, I'm not seeing any other question. I had a question on hospital, because for hospitals, so I don't even think that they're like HR in the real sense. I think it's more like admin. I don't know, any hospital pharmacists in the house can correct me. I think we have like the admin and all of that. I think when I worked, I didn't. But anyways, I think that this session has delved into everything for healthcare leaders, because it's not just pharmacy owners or hospital owners. We even have people that are leaders in all of these places, even if you're not like the overall head, so to speak. I think when you're managing people, you also need to have some sort of HR experience when you're like the line manager, or you are managing people in any leadership role that you're in. You need to be able to understand even if it's a little bit of people practice, like you said, Lara. Yeah. So thank you. This has been so amazing and insightful. I hope that we have learned many new things. We promise that you'll learn something different about pharmacy or hospital healthcare leadership. And managing people is just all so important, because people are the engine that your business uses to grow. So thank you so much, Lara, for your time. And again, everybody else that joined, thank you for joining. It's been an amazing time on the call. And thank you for your questions. Because somebody is saying that government hospitals have HRs, private mostly have admins, but may have HRs. The HRs in government hospital zones directly relate with healthcare professionals. That's interesting. So do they relate with? In fact, this is new. But yeah, thank you very much for this insight that you have shared. Yeah, so essentially, everybody have a knowledge of people practice so that you can you can impact your business positively with your people or through your people. And yes, we have been saying on the comment section who if we are gonna be. So please, for those of us on the call, how satisfied are you with the content of today's webinar? Please share your opinion on a scale of 1 to 5. That 0 is just there for formality's sake. Just tell us how much you enjoyed and are satisfied with this, and if you would like to refer anyone for the Just Talk Learning webinar. So we are rounding up now. We are done with the masterclass session. So just a couple of announcements. We have officially come to the end of our Healthcare Business Masterclass series. We started in April, like I said earlier on the call, where we had Ime come to tell us about how to drive operations, how to fix gaps in operations so that we can scale fast. And in May, we had the financial management series session where Stanley Okakaize-Kobe came and, just really went to town on finances. If you missed that session, like if you missed the past 2 sessions, I don't know how we can help you, but they were really insightful sessions, and I have been really enriched moderating all of these sessions. It's been an amazing experience. So thanks to everyone who joined, and for those who have been present, right from when we started the sessions till now. Thank you for joining. The next month, we are going to continue with our regular drug stock learning webinar. So the topic is going to be shared as usual. So recommend, refer, join, and we look forward to having you next month as we continue our webinars. Yes, you can get a replay of the sessions. It will be shared. You get a replay of the session, yes, after the call this week. You will. Yeah, we can share previous calls too. Victoria, yes, you will get the previous recordings. Yeah, so I think we have come to the end of today's session. Really grateful for the speaker, grateful for the audience, and thank you for your time. I'm just seeing questions come on. we're asking these questions when the speaker has already signed out. But yeah, is it possible to get the last 2? Yes, all right, so we can send the recordings. We can send the recordings to everyone that registered for the previous sessions. Like we promised if you follow the emails that we have been sending, we have some packages for those that have stayed or that have joined the 3 sessions. So there's a special package for them. And for the slides will be given to attendees of 2 of the sessions, and the recordings will be shared for everyone who has registered for the sessions. Answered all of your questions, and we have no further questions because I'm about to close the webinar. And thank you to everyone. Thanks to, again, Lara Yeku, thank you. Drugstock, thank you for the opportunity.